In this demonstration of ATLOS, we're going to cover the form filling and electronic signature functionality. First, I'm going to go ahead and log into the site. And then I'm going to jump to the site administration. This is where you manage everything from your database to the forms that you want to fill, and then any types of documents that you want to store within the software you can manage from this admin section. I'm going to jump here to our form data section. This is a feature of ATLOS where you can go in and create a database to store any kind of data that you need in order to assemble your forms. It can be data that relates to a loan transaction. It can be data that relates to purchase agreements for real estate companies. It can be data that relates to HR forms for managing your employees. In this demonstration, we've got the database set up for loan data. I go here and click preview. You'll be able to see that we've got fields that relate to a mortgage transaction. We've also got custom fields that we've added. Anybody can go in and create any kind of fields that they want to from this interface. I'm going to go here to click to view. This is where you can go to add new fields or modify the existing fields that are already in here. You can remove an entire section. You can remove specific fields that you may not need to fill your form. So I'm just going to go here and add a custom field just so you can see how easy it is to add a new field. We'll put sample, put drop down field. We'll make it 3 options. We'll just put first, second, third. You can make it required if you want to. Click save. So now I've added a new field, and then I can go in and move it to any one of these sections that I want to. A section is just a way to group your fields together so that everything is organized. And you can create additional sections if you want to in order to organize the data the way that you want to organize it. We'll go here to example custom fields. I'll put sample drop down. We'll just put it up here at the top. Hit save. So now I've added a new field to store data in my database. Once it's done saving, we'll go in and do a quick preview just so you can see how the web form looks now that I've added the new field. So click close, click on preview. If I go to this example custom fields section, you'll see we've got first, second, third are the new options that I added. So now I want to go into my form templates section, and I want to go in and you can either import an existing form or you can create a form from scratch if you want to. We've got a designer where you can go in and build your own form. I could just go in and put test. We can assign it to a label. We'll say this is loan approval, but it could be anything. It could be a cover letter. It could be any kind of form that you want to design within our software. You can add a text block. I can go in and just start typing text. This is a test form. You can add text, you can add lines, images, you can add tables, you can add signatures and checkboxes, and then you can go in and map your database to this form. I could go in here and say I want to put the borrower's first, middle, and last name right here in this form. So you can go in and just fill in information from your database. You could go in and if I wanted to go in and underline it and maybe I want to make the color red, I could go in and do that. So you can literally go build your own forms from this designer if you want to. And then you can import your existing forms that you already have created. So we'll go here to import form templates, and I'm going to import a new form. We'll just call it borrower authorization. This is a form that's used commonly in the mortgage industry, and it's a PDF form that I'm going to import. I'm going to say yes, I want to electronically sign it, and we'll link it to a label that we've already got created. This is where the form, once it's generated and signed, it'll be saved to this label right here. So I'm going to click OK. So now I've imported this PDF. Now I want to go in and map the database to this template, to this form. So When I open it up, you'll see the form. And it's also already got fillable fields in it, so I can just go in, the system will detect any fillable fields, any fillable text fields, or drop downs or radio buttons that are already in the form. And you can just go in and easily highlight those fields and then select what data from the database you want to get merged into these fields. So I'll go and say I want to put the first name, middle name, last name into this borrower name field. I want to go in and put my subject property information. We'll put the street here where it says address. We'll click city and we'll map the city from the database there. Click state and map the state. And then we'll select zip, add the zip. Favorite color, this is an example of a custom field that I created. So we'll go here and just put example color. And then if you want to, let's say I wanted to add a new text field in here, that we can go in, let's just say sample drop down, click this and it'll ask me if I want to add a new text box. I'll click yes and it'll be Arial. That's the font. So now I can go in and just drag this text box. Let's say I want to put that new sample field that I created, I want to put that information here. I can go in and do that. And now I want to go in and add a signature field. So we'll go up here and say I want to add a signature field. You can add signature fields for your internal users, your agents, employees, whoever works for your company. You can also add signature fields for third parties like a borrower or an attorney or a client, any kind of third party that you want to sign this form. You can have as many different signers as you want to on any one individual form. We'll say test signature, and you can link a date field to the signature. You can link an IP address field and a timestamp field to your signature so that when somebody goes in and signs the form, it'll automatically date it or stamp an IP address or timestamp field to it. So I'm going to click Save Signature, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go in and drag my new signature field to the appropriate place on the form. You can resize it if you want to. I'm going to drag the date field to the appropriate place. This is where I want my date stamp to go. I'm going to click Save, and I've created this new borrower's authorization form and mapped the database to it. Let's go in. Now we're going to start a new loan. This is just the transaction types that we're creating in the system. It could be any kind of transaction that you want to manage in here. It could be an HR folder for an employee. It could be a client folder. It could be project folder you want to manage. In this case, it's a loan folder. So I'm going to go in and click Add New Loan. And whenever this folder gets created, you'll see an area where you can enter your data. You can import your data in here too if you want to. You've got a section for your documents. This is where all the documents are going to be stored. It can be the documents that you generate, the forms that you generate and sign would be stored in here, or you can upload documents in here that are delivered to you. You want to store it all together. It could be a driver's license. It could be W-2s, pay stubs, any kind of documentation that you want to store for this transaction. You can do that. I'm going to go here to loan data, and I'm going to go in and generate a form. We'll generate the one that we just created, this borrower's authorization. I'll click on View. The system's going to validate what data is needed to fill this form out. So we'll go in here and put the address, Test Street, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 70808. The borrower first name, last name is needed, so we'll put John Smith. And then it's going to ask for this field that I created, this sample drop-down field and color option. Save and continue. Once all the data is entered that's necessary to fill this form, the form will display, and then I can go ahead and sign this form. You'll see that all of the information filled into this form that we mapped. I'm going to go in. You can either type your signature, you can draw it. I could just go here and freehand it if I wanted to, or I could type it. So we'll put John Smith. Save and continue. Click to sign. and now the form is signed and automatically dated. So it's that simple. If I wanted to regenerate this form again, I won't have to go in and re-enter all this information that I've already entered. We're storing it all in a database, so you can leverage this data over and over again to generate the same form or any form that uses these fields. These could be common fields across all of your forms. Maybe you've got several forms that need the first name, last name, address information. That way you only have to enter it one time, and it can go and populate all your different forms that need that same information. So if I go ahead and click close, now I've got all this data that I just entered saved in my database here. And again, I can use this data to fill the same form or any kind of form that maybe I've got several forms that need to be filled out. We could go in and generate those forms and not have to re-enter this data again. If you go here to Documents, you'll see you've got your bars authorization here. If you want to add additional documents to the folder, you could go in and do that. I've got several documents that I may want to store in the folder. I can go ahead and just upload those documents, and then I can go in and either link them to an existing label that the system already created, or you can go in and just type your own name if you want to. I can go in and put signed 4506T. This is a credit report, and this is a CD statement. So CD statement. Let's say these are all the documents that I want to store along with my forms that I generated. You can go in and do that. So you've got all of your documents all stored in one place. If I wanted to go in and view these documents, I can go in and do that. You just click on the link that says click to view. It'll open up the document directly in our software. If you need to make any kind of edits to the documents, you can reorder the pages, you can rotate them right left, you can delete a page. We've got annotations that you can add to the document. If you want to block something out or add a comment or a highlight, you can do that. We also have the ability to merge. You can extract pages out of here and merge them to other pages of a document that are already in the system. So you've got a lot of tools besides just the ability to go in and store and view documents. You can also create folders to categorize everything. So if I want to go in here and view underwriting documents or income documents, we can go in and see the different documents that are in here for these different folders or categories that we've created. That's just a little bit, that's just some of the functionality that you get with ATLOS. There's other functionality that we'll cover in other videos that we'll create and add to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, you can go to www.atlos.com.